Yeah, I think we're good to go. Okay. Alright, we're live. Now, listen, two things real quick. This is the after show for Fear the Walking Dead. I hope we're going now, but this is the after show. The first 10 to 15 minutes is going to be my first impression review, just like the old-fashioned ones. Instead of editing it, it's going to be live and raw. And then if you want to stay for the fan feedback, after about 10-15 minutes, I'll pull the questions from the live chat for the fan feedback. Another thing, the thumbnail is kind of taking the piss. Sometimes I'll create a thumbnail and I'll have an idea of what I want to talk about, and then we get off track and I end up not talking about the thumbnail. So I just want to let you know the comments I've seen about this episode have just been bad, just bad all around. Normally we have a group chat where we get hundreds of comments just for a 1 hour episode, and we didn't even come close to 100 comments on a 2 hour episode. It was just bad. Like, people lost interest. There ended up only being like the same 3 people commenting by the end of it. But anyway, I've seen a lot of fans who were just not happy with this premiere, this double premiere. So the thumbnail's not like, I hate the show, come here why I hate the show, although we'll talk about obviously I was not impressed with these 2 episodes, and if it keeps going in this direction, it's just not really that interesting. But there are positives to it. However, the thumbnail is to like draw it out. What do you think? Do you agree, disagree? We constantly in Fear the Walking Dead, the fan base has been in a war constantly. Is it good? Is it bad? When it's good, the fans jump up and applaud it and praise it. And yes, it's finally heading down a good direction. We had a lot of conversations, you know, in the first half because there was so much going in a direction a lot of us didn't like. But then it started getting into some really good shit, especially that finale. The mid-season finale in this season was tight. A lot of fans liked it. I believe it was a 2 hour one too. And then starting up with this one, it hit a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. The bickering between everyone. You got brother and sister bickering a little bit, even though they came together, digging a hole, which a lot of people started commenting immediately that, why? Some people were confused. You know, they saw, and I know because, well, that doesn't make any sense. I was going to say because I'm part Native American, we had a lot of stuff, like, as far as, like, the culture that we learned growing up and going to different events and stuff like that. So when the girl had the 2 sticks and she was walking around, I don't feel like that would be only a Native American thing. That's why I want to say, like, but I'm telling you, that's why I picked it up on. That was her searching for the water. At least that is a thing. I thought that was bullshit, though, but that was like a thing that people used to do back in the day. And I don't think it was just Native Americans, but I always thought that was bullshit, trying to find water. But that's what that girl was doing with the sticks, unless I perceived that scene totally wrong. So Alicia saw her looking for the water, and that's what they were digging a hole for. But so many fans were just like confused and just didn't like it. If they have a well and, you know, the well's running dry, what is digging a hole gonna do? Because you're getting it all from that, you know, that huge lake they went to. Remember when it's all almost dried up? Anyway, so real quick, we're gonna go into let me pop out the chat. We're going to go into my thoughts and opinions of everything I wrote down on this notepad, and then what we'll do is we'll look into the questions for the viewer. You know, wait, hold on a second. All right, don't worry. I got rid of them. Some people asked me to get rid of somebody. Yeah, don't worry. I got rid of them. So, all right, all good. Let's see. No, I didn't see the preview for Season 8, but I'll get to the questions. Let me go right down. First off, oh my God, what is his name? Walker. Walker's speech I really liked in the beginning, so that was a thumbs up. I like that, and I like his character, except for when he comes off with this cockiness instead of just being like, yeah, we'll work together and we got solutions. He's just like, nope, no, it's this, that, and that's kind of a person where, yeah, I see where he's coming from, but at the same time, I'm like, kill him already. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got onto this ranch and said this good speech and this bullshit about forgiving and moving forward, and one thing goes bad or wrong, and immediately you're just like, nope, that's it. We're taking full control. I didn't like that from the gate because it's bound to happen that somebody or something in his group is going to go wrong. So you would be a complete hypocrite if you didn't hand over control immediately to the other side. And then Madison stood up and she was like, give them both the keys. Immediately, I'm like, what? Are they really going out of their way trying to make us dislike her even more? Holy shit, why? What? Why? And then Jake just hands the keys. It seems like they want to push so much conflict in. I can't believe they had almost no conflict with giving up the keys. But anyway, and they also showed a scene where Strand was chained up. And that is a perfect example of a good 6-minute chunk of what I would have liked to see. So if you guys are curious, you didn't like a lot of this, but what would you like to see as a fan of, you know, the zombie genre and a fan of The Walking Dead as a franchise as a whole? That Strand scene, I'm going to get to that in a minute, but let me run down what's on the list. But let's see. Yeah, he takes both the keys. At this point, I'm like, Madison, just shut the fuck up. They could have done sweeps. Immediately, Jake could have said, listen, you want to take the key over my dead body? And this isn't where I'm saying it should have went like this because of this, that, and the third. I'm saying I'm not buying that whole situation, how something went wrong and he hands over the keys. I felt like they could have came to some type of agreement like, okay, some shit went wrong. Now we're going to do sweeps, but we're going to regulate our own people. I'm not handing over control. So, I don't know. That's all annoyed me. And then she pulls out the map and they're running out of water, which obviously this is going to lead to the dam that they have already set up. So we're starting to see everything they have set up. We're starting to see how that's going to collide. You have the group that wants to buy the water. Obviously, down the line, they're not going to be able to keep affording water from the dam. The dam is having problems giving water to his own people. So you see where this is going? We have Ophelia on one side, her father now on the other, and how they're doing this internal conflict with Fear the Walking Dead. I'm almost betting a digit that is the direction they're heading, because at this point in time, it seems painfully predictable what they're doing. What did we say before? One of the first things I noticed watching it last time, immediately I'm like, yeah, they're going to have internal conflict. This is the direction. And that was the entire 2-hour premiere. So if they don't have this conflict going with the dam and then the group at the ranch and with everyone split on different sides, I will be shocked if they don't go in that direction. Anyway, so we have Madison telling, and how she talks to Troy, the whole, I want you with me. And if he dies, there's no problem. So she says all this stuff seemingly to trick him. Everyone tells me, Ronnie, it's to trick him. It's to get him, you know, to sweeten him up, soften him up, and yada, yada, yada. But then once he loses, all she has to do is kill him. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I get it, there might be a thing there, but that other tribe that she's given all the power to, and she seems to be, you know, buddying up with so much, it seems like she forgot Travis. They're the ones who killed Travis. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's not even a little bit of friction there, or a little bit of hesitation, or anything at all that shows that she's dealing with this difficulty, accepting the fact that they killed Travis and yada, yada, yada. I don't know. And we got the, the dam takeover, where oh yeah, we remember when they're giving out the water and they were like, oh, you stole the water from the dam people. First off, they're giving the water away for free, unless I missed something. They're giving the water away for free. And this person's like, how dare you steal the water off the people that were selling it to us, and you are giving it to us for free, so we're going to throw rocks at you. That whole scene, I had to have missed something because it was asinine. And if I did miss something, please let me know down in the comments below so I can play catch up. Because I'll tell you this right now, I will not be watching these two again at all. These 2 episodes, probably for a long time. Maybe if I rewatch this season in 5 or 10 years, they just had no interest for me personally, and there's just no rewatchability. So you let me know what was going on with the dam and the water and why they were throwing rocks at people who were giving the water for free when the other group was selling it. And the other group, remember, they beat someone up that was in line, and then they even beat up Strand and stuff like that. I don't know. And what, Nick tells Troy, I did it. And what, not interested to, oh yeah, this too. This shows, this is a perfect example when you get a moment where Nick tells Troy, okay, I did it, I killed your dad. I thought they were going to do something a little more involved and a little more complex than that. Maybe something that is a little interwoven into the story, or I don't know. Maybe they're going to do that with Jake. But when it came to Troy, in a TV show that has me gripped, when he says this to Troy, I'm like, okay, why is he saying this? What did he expect Troy to do? Is this his way to get him to surrender? And then why did Troy have this? We know, you know, Troy, oh, I want to dig him back up and kill him again and whoop-de-whoop. Troy didn't have this good relationship with his dad, but what was his thought process there? On a show that grips my interest, I would want to dive in deep and figure out that I did it, Troy. I killed your dad. And then Troy gives up. Why did he give up? But here's where I'm comparing a show I'm really interested in, and I dive deep and I really want to know what's going on. My brain went like this. Wait, why did he say he did it? And then why did Troy give up? Why did he surrender? He doesn't surrender because we see him later on try to kill the guy who sent them out to exile him. And then I'm thinking, I don't care because I'm not interested. At that point, I just did not want to dig in any further with why Nick told him it. And then I kind of feel like Troy's leaving the story. Yet again, we got another character leaving the group who's not going to be gone. He's going to come back, but we got to splinter the group. And I feel like Nick isn't going to see him for a long time. So here, they just let him have that. Anyway, the Madison and Troy stuff, again, I'm creeped out by their entire scenes. It has this weird, like, motherly thing, but also I want to be with you type vibe. And after Travis so soon, even if she's playing him, it is weird because she's not, because all she has to do is kill him, get rid of him, he's a problem, goodbye. I don't know. The Alicia speech, I loved it. Alicia has been doing some things off and on a little bit, but that speech that she gave when she walked into the group there that was kind of tag teaming on Jake, I love that speech. I thought it was epic. Now we got Nick with the gun. That whole scene was a little bit frustrating because Nick isn't being honest and open about the whole situation. He could have easily came out and said, listen guys, I'm not that big of a hero, what you think I am. I was just trying to save Troy's life because now is not the time to fight out. Even if he wanted to bait them and try to play into them to see, you know, because he now has their kind of respect and attention. So it's safer in his mind to control that than letting it go. So he could have at least been somewhat honest, but at the same time let them know now's not the time to attack. We need to assess the situation, come together and figure something out. And then we got the market. She hands over the radio. Shit like that. Because I'm thinking, all right, it's forcing something to happen where Alicia can't get in contact with her mom. The places are falling apart because there's no contact, and the leader can't get on and control his own people because he doesn't have contact with his people. Some more shit's going to pop off. So that shit was frustrating a little bit. And the internal conflict at the point where it was the ranch and the other group and then the brother and sister bickering back and forth for the 2 hours, I think in the halfway point of the second hour, I was just begging for it to be over. And not in a mean way, just in a way where if there's a whole bunch of fans that you're gripped to the screen and you're loving every moment of this, that's fine, you can have it. It's just not a storyline that's interesting me at this point in time. So I was just, it was an hour longer than I wanted it to be tonight. And then what I put Nick and Well. What did I mean by that? Nick in the well. Oh yeah, Nick in the well. He pulls out the gun. You got this other guy who wants to take their well and shit. I like that scene. However, I wanted a little bit more to it. A little bit more dialogue. Maybe a little bit, I don't know. There's some dialogue interactions between the character with a little bit of charisma instead of just staring down at each other, and just something, you know, a little bit more to that. And then we have, yeah, the big bad Walker gets caught, and then they push Strand on the wall. And now I'm going to get to the an idea, or show you guys something that I think personally would have been way more interesting. You have Strand get put outside, chained up. I love that. Wait, hold on, what's this? I'm giving away 3 iPhones. Yeah, hold on, I'm banning him. We're not having any people here that's getting scammed out of shit, so I'm banning his ass. Where are you at? All right. So, yeah. Oh, yeah. So, Strand's going to get chained outside, and he's got to work off his debt. I love that moment. And this is Fear the Walking Dead. This is a zombie genre show. You have all this soap opera, and for the first time in my life, I am in total agreement with George Romero. The Walking Dead has soap opera bits in it. The original show, sure. But The Walking Dead also did something that George Romero, rest in peace, has never been able to do in his entire career. Make likable characters, interesting characters, characters you remember. And if you immediately disagree, name 5 characters from his show without using Google. I mean immediately off the top of your head. And then go ahead and name, 5 characters in The Walking Dead. Name 20 characters in The Walking Dead. You could probably do it. But however, Fear the Walking Dead seems like it's overblown with the soap opera-ness without having as interesting storyline characters or the horror survival aspect, mainly with the zombies and stuff. So now you have this really awesome idea. You got this dude who owes money. You're gonna chain him outside the compound, and he's got to fight, kill the walkers so that way the walls aren't breached. Fucking love that idea. And then here's what you do. You come back from commercial, you bring the guy out, and for all of us who have to deal with the soap opera shit, or maybe we're just fed up and frustrated, get a 6-minute clip from commercial to commercial, chain him up, and have the camera rest with him there. We see a couple walkers coming down, let it sit there, let the camera sit there and build that tension of the walkers getting closer the whole time. Don't cut, just sit there with them. 2 walkers are heading towards him, and then we have a couple walkers. So at this point in time, as he's killing these other walkers, our tension's just getting cranked up to 10 because we can see all the walkers that are coming next behind the other ones. So you sit there for that whole time with him fighting off the walkers, and it's hard to say that and then be like, well, he did fight the walkers, whoop de whoop. No, I'm not talking about this real quick, 45-second, kills a couple walkers, falls on the ground, and then they shoot. I'm talking a 1-edit, really difficult scene to do, but an amazing tension-filled scene if you did it right, where he's chained up and you have him kill this walker, but you see 3 more that are even closer, and now you're thinking, wait a minute, okay, he's got to kill 3 at the same time. Just crank up that tension in the moment between the walkers in that moment and do something really cool with it. Because again, and I know it's just killing walkers and whoop-de-whoop, but so what? That stuff is fun and exciting and interesting, and it's taxing on these characters because it's actually physically seeing them become a survivor, and not just in a moment that's so edited it's just real quick, bang, bang, bang. You can even do it to the point where after 4 minutes of this, he's getting tired, and you don't have to do it in one take, but make it seem fluid like that. Don't have a walker here or 5 feet away and then cut it and the walker's immediately up close. Let it ride out a little longer, show him get exhausted, and then more and more and more, and it's like, okay, he's going to be overpowered, and then have the ex machina come and save him, Or better yet, don't have him get saved. Have him almost just barely die, and then as he's laying on the ground and he's just exhausted to the point where he can't even get up again, you see a whole flood of new walkers coming, like 5 more, and you're thinking, oh fuck, and then you kill the walker. Some shit like that. Just, I don't know, just, it's moments like that where I wish, okay, you got the story playing out, but then you have these zombie moments for the zombie fans, because after all, this is a zombie genre, and then give us those moments, those excellent zombie moments. But anyway, so that's enough for me, and we're going to get into some of the questions, but if I can say my opinion about these 2 episodes, like a rating-wise, I would have to say I wasn't all that invested. I wasn't on the edge of my seat. I actually started doing laundry in the middle of it, going back and forth folding clothes and doing other stuff around the house, and even packing some orders to get them shipped out for Doomsday Kingdom. So the interest wasn't there. I'm gonna have to say it was just an okay for me, and I think there is some potential to really crank up the storyline moving forward, but I'm at the point where I think I am exhausting my hope for it to continue to get better. I think Fear the Walking Dead is just established and it's set and it is what it is. There's going to be those, you know, occasional episodes where I think are amazing and I'm like, oh, now this is what I want. But for the most part, for me and my tastes and interests, I think it's only going to be anywhere from meh to it's okay, you know, it's all right. And I think that's where it's going to rest, you know. All right, so we are going to jump into the questions. So if you're done listening to the first impression review, that part is done. We're going to dive right into what you guys have to say. My water bottle just died. It limp-dicked itself. Dislike Tara. Wait, Tara's not even in this. Got is a medieval soap opera too. What is a soap opera? That's kind of a generic way to write this, and I think it's, and I will admit that it's a stupid way to put it, because we're interested in story. Story isn't just action, you know. Story is about the characters, and it's about you know, refreshing. It's about being attached to a whole bunch of different things. Not just the exciting battles or action scenes, but it is about the characters. It's about their stories. It's about, you know, their triumphs, their failures. It's about what they go through. So in a way, calling something a soap opera 9 times out of 10 is just generic and dumb. It's like a cheap shot. However, there are those moments that where you can be like, yeah, that's soap opera-ish. And what I mean by that is not simply two people talking. And I think that is what George Romero primarily said, where there's not enough action, it's all talking. And I think the soap opera ones are where it is cheapened in a way. You know, you can't say that for Fear the Walking Dead because they put on some of these, you know, atmospheres, the environments, some big environments. They do some cool stuff. They do some great zombie makeup and work like that. So they put it into the mix. But it's not, I wouldn't say it's fair, but that's just an easy and generic way to use that as a example of what I didn't like, how soap opera like it is, you know. But yeah, the debate is there. Anyway, I love you, Eugene, as well. Ronnie, did you notice Heisenberg's song in Fear the Walking Dead episode? It was the song from Negro y Azel episode of Breaking Bad. I didn't notice that at all. That's pretty cool, though. Like I said, my interest was, I was just making it, man. I was just making it through. Ronnie, do you think we will ever see Lucy again? No mention of her, and I already forgot about her. I think we should see her again. I don't think it would make any sense to not see her again. But then again, Fear the Walking Dead, people just keep going. I don't know. I feel like that's a thing where, yeah, if they don't know what to do with a character, or if they have too many characters, it kind of feels like they just push them out to the side. What do we do with Troy? Troy is a problem character. He's not going to go along with it. You know, they want to write a story where there's this altercation at the well, and they want to write a story where Nick leads the people to help dig the hole with his sister. Troy would not do that. Troy would absolutely not do that. So what's the easiest, in a critical way, what's the laziest thing to do? Get rid of Troy. Same thing with Lucy. Lucy would not do certain things. What's the easiest thing to do? Get rid of Lucy. And it seems like that's what they do with these characters where, you know, they don't really fit in this part of the story, but we're not quite ready to kill them yet. We just kind of get rid of them, you know? Sometimes it looks like there's a grand scale method to their madness, like Danny Salazar being at the dam. I think this is cool. I like the idea that now we have these people who got into 2 established communities, and now they're going to have some kind of, knowing them, there's going to be some type of conflict, you know, but I think there's just some other story potential that's buried deep down inside, instead of having the ranch at odds with each other, internal conflict, and now the damn people, there's internal conflict, you know. Anyway, I mean, for all we know, the people who run the market, there's going to be some boss that runs the market. Maybe that girl who put Strand outside the wall, it was a girl leader, right? Maybe her group is going to want to attack the ranch, and then everyone's gonna have to group together. Like, I really hope they don't go in that direction, because that's when once they hit that marketplace, which I gotta say, I left this out of the first impression review. I love that idea. I love that idea so much. Having a post-apocalyptic marketplace. We have not seen anything like that in the original show, anything to that extent, and I love that idea, and I wanted to see more of that. I would have sacrificed this 2-hour premiere just for them to give us a side story in the marketplace of getting the water. Show us anything, you know, anything about how it operates, it functions, the leaders. Show us the breakdown of that, put an interesting story in the mix, and then at the end of it, you have Strand out there with some action. My God, I feel like that could have been a rockin' 2-hour premiere, based mostly in that marketplace, doing something neat and unique, you know? I don't know. What do I know, though? Yeah, I didn't see the preview for season 8. If you guys want to tell me what it was real quick, you can. But I'm gonna stay kind of focused on Fear the Walking Dead right now. We only have 35 minutes to talk about it left anyway. We need a Last of Us TV show. That's not something I would like, to be honest with you. Last of Us TV show. If in a perfect world, they would wait to do The Last of Us for a couple years until we're done with this either movie or show bullshit. And I've talked about this. Entertainment is heading into the direction where miniseries are coming back. Now, for those who don't know, back in the day, if you didn't do before internet, if you didn't do a movie, you didn't do a TV show, you did a miniseries. It is a new movie that came out. It is often wrongly referred to as an old movie. It wasn't. It was actually a mini-series that was put on TV. Was it like a 2-part? I think it was a 2-part mini-series, 2 or 3 parts. But back in the day, before internet and all that shit, they used to do these mini-series, either 4 hours or 8 hours. They would have like a 4-part mini-series. And we're going to move to that eventually. We've already seen the seeds of that sprinkled all over the internet. You know, usually, well, right now, you know, Netflix has a lot of potential, but they can do these you know, shows where you take a 4-hour Last of Us movie. It's not a movie, it's not in theaters, and it's not a TV show because it doesn't have seasons, but it's a 4 or 6 hour Last of Us movie, miniseries, season, whatever you want to call it. I think that would be perfect with The Last of Us. Now, here's the thing. They have part 2 with a video. Oh, you know what? We're talking about Fear the Walking Dead. Let me just say, we have part 2. If the writers can come together, they can do a, you know, 8-part Last of Us for whatever, part 1, and then they can do a season 2 and just do part 2. And if that's all of the story, then that's it. You know, you can do 2 seasons now. Now it's a TV show and yada yada yada. But I think Last of Us could be perfect as a miniseries, and more we'll see that on the internet, where we're seeing it's not as big for a TV show, but it's too big for a movie. It's going to be a miniseries. Anyway. Yeah, this show should piss off. Hi, sweetie. I'm sorry I've not been around. Business has picked up, and I'm on YouTube now. Oh, nice. Story, what was season 2 of the original show was. Now that season had a story. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or what. I enjoyed season 2. I think there was definitely problems between and I'm talking about the original show. There was definitely problems between everything going on then. We're not going to get into it now, but there's the dialogue and the passion made up for it. There was a lot where I was on the edge of my seat for season 2, you know. And again, season 2 had one of the greatest mid-season finales in the history of the series, and they had its problems too. It had its problems too, absolutely, you know. But still, even with the problems, the passion bleeds through it, you know, in my opinion. The Walking Dead's pacing kind of hurts it. Ronnie, think we will ever see Lucy again? Okay, we're back at the right questions. The budget would not be big enough. My problem with Fear the Walking Dead are the characters don't have any cool skills. Let me explain. In The Walking Dead, Rick is a sheriff, Michonne has a katana, Negan has a barbed wire baseball bat, Daryl has a crossbow, etc. Well, I would say that's not really skills. You mean they don't have any signature weapons. I mean, Rick is a sheriff, that's not a weapon, but You know, he has the outfit. Michonne has a katana. Negan has barbed wire baseball. Yeah, that's just signature weapons. They've stayed away from that, and I'm all right with that. I think it would be cool to start giving them certain looks that would help. It would help in merchandise, and this is something that blows my mind. In my opinion, they are blowing it with merchandise. I mean, in the worst possible way ever. Look at Fear the Walking Dead. Tell me something they can do merchandise-wise. Now look at, The Walking Dead, for example, they're selling the barbed wire baseball bats. They have the Negan figures. They have all these figures with cool outfits. You have the Rick in multiple different outfits, yada, yada, yada. You have the Michonne and her katanas. You have Daryl and his crossbow. There's all these brands, all these mini brands within the original show and other franchises as well. This is not a comparison. It's an example. A lot of people get that confused. As an example, with Fear the Walking Dead, a lot of things are constantly changing, and they're not grabbing hold of things that could be the iconic look and the this and the that. So for merchandising, I agree with you. They are bombing big time. Look at in all fairness, look at the Fear the Walking Dead characters, even the figures and the displays. They're just visually not cool looking. You got to really love the characters to want to go out and buy the Travis and the Madison. They're dull looking figures. My top 5 favorite Walking Dead characters are Rick. Is Rick losing power in the comics? We're gonna stick with the Fear the Walking Dead tonight. This is the Fear after show. 2 hours was too long. I hear that. I hope we see the Asian lady from the flight. That's another thing. Why is she gone? And a good example of, we don't know what to do with her yet, but we don't want to kill her yet. Let's get rid of her. It's like, if you always just compare Fear to The Walking Dead, you will be disappointed. Have to take it for what it is. Now, I don't know who you're talking to in the comments. If you're talking about the video here, we haven't compared it yet. Be careful when we're using examples. Like I just showed an example of the weapons and stuff. That's an example, not a comparison. And they're extremely different. A comparison is, hey, look at how The Walking Dead did this, this, and this, and this, and then the Fear of the Walking Dead did this, and this, and this, and this is just like, you see, you got to line it up. But an example is, look, they have, well, that's a shitty way to explain it. I feel like a condescending dick if I explained it to you. You guys know the difference. I shouldn't have to explain it. But you're probably talking to someone in the comments, because as far as I know, we're not comparing here. Have you ever been watching Preacher? I haven't seen it yet. Mary was only supposed to be in a few episodes. Just look at her now. I will say the type of camera they shoot with kind of bothers me. I feel Troy is a good character, and I feel he has potential to be a great villain. And tonight he had badass kill with a knife. Yeah, Troy is a character where, he's messed up in the head, but he's an interesting character. He's probably one of the more interesting characters. And, yeah, I want to see more. Yeah, fuck it, bring him back in and let's see more of him. The pacing of The Walking Dead is trash because AMC decides to force 16 episodes a season with a shit budget. If it was reduced to 10 or 8 with a higher budget, it would be masterful. I don't agree with that. Yeah, I don't agree. You don't need a budget at all to make a compelling story. And you might be like, that's insane. No, look at some of the independent things where they had, almost no money. They had shit budget, and they made a fascinating story that was just riveting and became a cult classic. You do not need that. Listen, if you took someone, I'll take the bet. I'll be a cocky dick and take the bet. If you provide just enough to get zombies, get me a house. It gotta be a big house. It has to be some to maneuver in. I'll get you a fucking edge of your seat, 1 hour, or you want to give me 40 minutes to be just like a real episode, I'll fucking knock your socks off. And the budget doesn't matter because it's about the story. It's about what you're crafting. You don't need the budget. If you don't like this, the writers and the direction in 16 episodes, you will not like the same writers and the same direction, churning that down to just 8 episodes, because it's not going to be what you're liking. It's just again, I don't agree with that at all. And yes, budget hurts the show, absolutely, when you're going to do big things. But it doesn't mean you have to do big things if you're forced to be restricted by these smaller budgets. Same docs, Ronnie. I was thinking the same about Fear just gets rid of characters like the pirate group in Season 2. And real quick though about the seasons being 16 episodes, another reason why I personally don't believe in stuff like that is because Fear the Walking or The Walking Dead, Game of Thrones. I mean, what? Game of Thrones is 7 seasons. You know, The Walking Dead is 7 seasons. You know, they wrote how many episodes per season? It's not like there's a cutoff point. You know what I'm saying? Game of Thrones has 7 seasons. And if you said, oh, you know, 10 episodes is too little for season 1, they should have had 15 episodes. And then some fan goes, no, 15's too much. Well, it wouldn't be, because look at the first episodes in first 5 in season 2. That would be the next 15 episodes. So you would still love it if you love season 2. You get what I'm saying? So with Fear the Walking Dead, and if you cut it down to just 8 episodes instead of 16, all you're getting is the first half of season 2. And when you come back for season 3, you'll get the second half of, you know what I'm saying? So it'd still be the same story. They might tighten episodes up, sure, and get rid of some, trim some of the fat, so to speak. Or at least that's how I see it, you know? Too many conflicts in one show, none of which include zombies. How come? Where are all the dead? Yeah, that's another thing. Yeah, that's another thing. So I don't know. It's like the bickering conflict too. Who do you guys think could be the last one standing in Fear the Walking Dead? At this point, I think it could be anybody. In all honesty, I think the fan base is set up where you could pick any one of the main cast, and there will be no big difference. You know what I mean? Like if you kill Daryl Dixon, again, example, not a comparison. If you kill Daryl Dixon, mad fans would be pissed off. If you kill Alicia, you might have a certain group go, oh, you know, but it won't be like devastating. You know, it won't be like insane. Fear the Walking Dead will continue on. I think that's the same for pretty much all the characters. You will have a good chunk that'll leave no matter what if their favorite character goes, but you're never going to get around that. That's what every show. I was just waiting for Tina Turner to come out and say, welcome to Bartertown, like Mad Max. How do you think Fear could be salvaged, Ronnie? Stop focusing on the internal conflict. Immediately bring in something else. I mean, immediately. It could be anything. Bring in... You have the internal conflict going on. And I'm talking like abandon whatever ideas they have. Abandon, jump ship, and immediately throw in something crazy, deranged, and different. You want something crazy, deranged, and different? Bring in a crazy, deranged, and different character. And I'm talking off the top of my head. It's probably not even going to be a good idea because you need time to polish this. But just grab... okay, you wake up, they're doing their thing inside the camp, but we find someone mutilated. Hell, take a hard left turn. Not only are they mutilated inside their little trailer, but their body has been split open like some Hannibal shit, you know? No fan would expect that. No fan would even understand what the hell's going on, and then you would play it off where there is some sicko out there. Is it in the camp? Is it outside of the camp? And then eventually find out that it is outside of the camp, and it's just a band of you know, murders, whatever, 3 guys who just want to do savage things. They're touched in the head. Use that to bring the group together and move away from the conflict. Again, you're only using that unless you can polish some really amazing story out of it. Do that for a half a season and run with that amazing story. But if you need to you know, jump ship with this internal conflict, then do that. Bring the group together, and I think that would be rewarding, because imagine us watching these two groups instead of 2 hours of just bickering and being divided. Imagine the 2 hours of everyone in that group just being on edge, being terrified what to do next, and then add this horror element that is just surprising, like a slasher type. Creative, polished, interesting though. Don't just think of, I know what you did last summer, and be like, oh yeah, that was dumb, you know? Think of something that, for you, what is chilling, what is scary, what will make the hairs on the back of your neck stand up. Do that and have these two groups work together instead of just like digging a well. And then you bring them together and just abandon the internal conflict immediately. And then look at what you can do. And at this point in time, I would have to know what they had planned for the next season, because you'd need to articulate the story into that direction. You can't just be like, oh, I do this and that. I thought the acting was forced. You know, there wasn't a lot that worked for me either here. Ronnie, I think a Last of Us TV show has great potential to be King's show once the Walking Dead series has been over for 5 years. That's another thing. I respect your opinion, and I definitely see where you would get that from. Absolutely. I just feel like Joel and Ellie's story has a beginning and an end, you know? So for a TV show, for me, it would have to be the part 1, part 2. Maybe if they really wanted to dive deep, you know, do Joel in the first season without Ellie before he even met up with her, and then do a time skip for season 2 where he meets Ellie, some cool crazy shit like that, and then go into season 3 where that is part 2 of him and Ellie's journey, you know? If you played your cards right, and if you did the story right, you can do Joel a little bit before, and then you can do season 2 where he meets Ellie, and in the middle of at the end of season 2 is the middle of Joel and Ellie's journey, and then season 3 would be the continuation. So you got 2 full seasons of Joel and Ellie on this journey. By that time, part 2 of the video game is out, then you could do the new season on the new journey with Joel and Ellie. Maybe make 2 seasons out of that, again, if the material will fit. You're right. Now I don't see the passion in the storytelling, in my opinion. Ronnie, can you check out my channel? I'm making a lot of vids, Walking Dead vids, and hope to get your status one day. Bro, you can do it. Go for it. Dude, guys. Yeah, listen, do that. The predictions, theories, just start doing crazy theories. If it's just about, you know, building numbers like subscribers or viewers, stick with crazy predictions. Even things that might seem silly as shit to you, they get the most traction. Go for it. You'll grow. I guarantee you, do that. Do what I said. You'll have 20,000 subs in no time, you know? And then keep rocking out like that. But also do a little bit of what you want to do besides The Walking Dead, because if it ever dwindles or loses a little bit of heat, you'll be left there with a channel of 100,000 subscribers and no one to watch, you know? So, I don't know. Branch it out, but still focus on the theories and predictions. That'll grow it real big. Daryl and Carl need a haircut. Oh, we're not doing those. Wow, your place is looking great, Ronnie. Thank you. Mexican food, Fear the Walking Dead merch. I'm not completely done with the show just because I felt like this with the Game of Thrones, but after season 4, I was in and now getting the payoff. Ronnie, can you check out... Oh, I already did that. During this 3 seasons of Fear, they need to show them out there surviving and making zombies a huge threat in the show. The group finding places and being overrun with zombies. Nick was shitty in this episode. Gotta save the man bun for Jesus. In my opinion, Fear has a very bad habit of changing characters depending on the plot they're trying to do. They are what the plots calls for instead of evolving. You know what I just thought of? I totally forgot to put the comments on the screen again. I gotta figure out how to do that. So I know I can do it. I got the OBS software. I'll do that for next time. I gotta remember. I just gotta look it up. Have you watched YMS, The Walking Dead? He makes a lot of good critiques about season 1 and 2. I'll go check that out. Fear is a very bad habit. I think I did see that before. I think there was some, if it's the right one, it might not be the right video I'm thinking of, but if it was the right one, there was some things I disagree with and some things I did agree with. What the plot calls for. Yeah, they do have a little bit of a bad habit doing that. Am I the only one who enjoyed that shootout scene? Unfortunately, I had the light on at the time, so it made it even darker. So I didn't really see a lot of what was going on until it was pretty much over. So I might have to go back and rewatch that shootout scene to see how cool it was. It makes sense how the producers use Madison as a female main character in Fear, and Rick is like the male lead in The Walking Dead. Get it? P.S. Is Madison Travis's wife's name? Yes, Madison is Travis's wife's name. Uh-oh. We passed down messages, so hold on. I say increase the budget simply because of the stuff they aspire to do based on what they've done and what the comics have done. If they kept it contained, I wouldn't mind. Well, at this point in time, I would agree with you to take the budget. Maybe for the writers, it would be even a better, or I don't know. And again, the same thing I talked about applies. If we're not liking what they're giving us now, it's not geared for us. Like, unfortunately, and this is something that's taken me a long time to admit, because it's a zombie show. I want to love it. I want to love every inch of it, you know? But that sounded wrong. If the writers are writing a story that they want to tell that just doesn't suit up to my tastes, even if they do less episodes, it's not going to be geared to my tastes. But I do kind of wish they would keep the budget, less shows. But again, they will not do that because AMC would make less money. They make more money, especially since they're not doing great with merchandising for Fear the Walking Dead. They make more money with more episodes because now they're getting profit for the ads. And you'll get less ads if you do less episodes. So it's a tricky one. With Fear, pretty much once they start making a character likable, they get killed off, or even worse, they get sent away from the group and come back. It seems like, what was the point? Yeah, I still feel the same way with Travis. And now, seeing where the story's going, I am even more disappointed we don't have Travis. I think he would add some extra charisma to what's going on. I just think it's such a letdown that he's not in the show anymore. I am concerned about the Whisperer origin story. Everything matches. The Alpha could be Madison. Walker could be Beta. Alicia could be Lydia. I'm not worried at all. I don't think there's any possibility whatsoever that that's going to work, you know? Do you feel like there's more gore in Fear the Walking Dead than The Walking Dead at the moment? I have no idea. The Walking Dead didn't come back on. The Walking Dead had some scenes in, 7 that I thought needed more gore, but I didn't feel like they, went overboard with cutting out gore. I think there was, in my opinion, only like 3 scenes, unless I'm missing some, give or take, that they should have showed it. Like the Daryl kill, well, we'll do it quick and then we'll get back to Fear. The Daryl kill, killing Joey, needed it. Absolutely. The Michonne kill, stay in the car. Why would you zoom out? I mean, why? Are you trying to show so far away so we don't see the gritty reality of what Michonne did? So, she doesn't become, so she's not lovable anymore? No. Stay in the car and show that shit. And the Winslow, that was a horrible mistake because it was confusing. Did he cut off his head or what? Because... And again, he's got the metal around his brain. At this point, it's not about showing the gore. It's about showing how the character killed the zombie. I mean, that'd be a cool kill. So, I don't know. Anyway. And Ronnie, do you think if The Walking Dead never had a TV show, that Fear would be more popular? This is a tricky one because The Walking Dead gained a lot of popularity because of the comic. So, you know what I mean? Fear the Walking Dead would still get a lot of popularity because of the comic, but a lot of hate because they're not showing any of the original characters. So I think this is one of those, it's a neat question to think about, but it's almost an impossible one to answer. I will say, I think Fear the Walking Dead would still have been as popular at the very least as it is right now, at the very least. Because it is better than the zombie stuff we were getting before from most zombie stories. You have your select movies that are really good, but most of the zombie stories are crap, The Walking Dead just set the bar a little higher. And Fear the Walking Dead is just, it's not meeting the same enjoyment level, So it's kind of like taking a beating in that aspect. I think recently there's been a problem with the writers forcing in conflicts and doing really simple, annoying shit to start a conflict. It's happened in The Walking Dead, on a bit, I don't know what that is. Got is Game of Thrones, and now it's happening in Fear. Yeah, this is something with Hollywood that they love to do that I hate. Conflict is king. They say it all the time. Conflict is king. Conflict is king. When you go to the courses for screenwriting, they will rape your brain with conflict. Add it to every scene. If you have some character walking in and he wants to order a cheeseburger and, it has nothing to do with what the fuck's going on, you need to have another character force it in there that they don't like cheeseburgers or they're vegetarian. You need conflict in every single scene. I shit you not. Go take some screenwriting courses. they're mental with that shit, and it's not always good. It's not always good at all. Fans, conflict is king. We need to make a rhyme. Conflict is king, rewards is, and then something else, because they leave out rewarding the viewers all the time. And great writers insert the conflict with the rewards on a nice balance. Is this mapping The Last of Us? I don't know what that is. I think the same thing. What is the point of this? I end up not caring. Oh yeah. Why do people believe they are the Whispers? Fears groups in Mexico. I don't know. I don't believe that at all. I mean, if people still want to hold on to that, that's absolutely fine. I've seen a lot of times where just because I don't like it, people think that you're not allowed to like it. If you like it, go for it. I just think it doesn't fit, you know? You need a writing job on your own show. Hopefully the comic takes off. I would love a writing job. I would love, and then I could show you. I could be like, listen, guys, I'm telling you what, you know, you support me, and I will give you one fucking hell of a zombie show. Like, not a show, like a little mini series. I'll give you 4 episodes of something that'll fucking rock your world for zombie fans. I promise you. And then if I don't, you can be like, see, Ronnie, you fucking idiot. You fucked it up, you know? So it's a win-win. Because if I fail majorly, then you could just you can never let up. Always ride me on that failure. But if I succeed, then we got another epic zombie thing, you know? And I'm telling you what, you support me, snow. One word, snow. It's gonna have snow. Ronnie looks like Jake Paul. Get the fuck out of here. That's not true at all. They should focus on The Walking Dead and drop this show. I don't think one takes away from the other, to be honest, so I'm not really worried about it, except for when they did take away that one scene. I would love to see a miniseries that make a comeback. So much great material that's too much for a movie, but not enough for a series. I don't think Fear would be popular if The Walking Dead wasn't a thing. The Walking Dead skyrocketed because of the amazing 6-episode season 1. The same viewers watching Fear would find it meh crap. Ronnie, keep it up. Thank you very much. Why are there reports that Rick might die before every season? Oh, they do that all the time. First off, because they know the majority of people who read and watch stuff, and especially read, it's always the written articles. The majority of fans are not the dedicated ones. There's massive amounts of fans that will click on it, and they're not the dedicated ones that go, they do it every year. They'll never kill him. It doesn't fit the show. There's so many that go, oh, this might be the year they actually do it. And it's just not. Unless he wants out of the deal. It doesn't fit the story. How did you feel about the kumbaya coming together at the end of the episode? I didn't think no, just no. I got it. I was like, yeah, okay, but Nick should have did that from the gate. I felt like that was wasting our time. That was just filler. Like, he's going to take the gun. Ever since he took the gun, you know, to where they got to, it was just a wasted filler moment. You had the well scene. That was cool. But it was just a waste. I think he should have been open and honest from the gate, and they could have done something different. And again, are they even going to find anything? They're just digging a hole. I don't know. Will Tobias return? At this time, I don't think so. They're too far away. I thought it was okay. Not bad, but not great. See, I didn't think it was bad either. Again, I'm meh for a season premiere or a mid-season premiere, and okay, you know, for a 2-hour premiere, I'm right around the okay point. I went to the comic book store today, Ronnie, and cleaned out all the Walking Dead single issues. Nice. The actor who plays Nick is getting better. I stopped watching after season 1. I had hoped Fear the Walking Dead would focus on the breakdown of civilization. They did a shitty job and did it too quick. Yeah, I think there could have been more to the breakdown as well. Would you have enjoyed Fear the Walking Dead more if it premiered before The Walking Dead? No, not at all. One playing before or after the other does not, it doesn't affect the story. If they played this right before the premiere or right after the premiere of season 8, it doesn't affect it at all. If I'm not interested, you know, I'm not going to be interested, even if it follows something that I love, you know? Like if someone gave me the bootleg of the futuristic Last of Us movie, that was one of the most amazing zombie movies ever, it's not going to make me love this episode because I got to watch them back to back. If that's what you mean, maybe I misread what you meant. Will people get tired of all-out war a whole season? No. No, because, again, if the writing's good, the writing's good. Show us that shirt. Are you talking about me? This is the ping pong one that came in the Skybound, what is it? That merch box. The, oh, I got my headphones on. The, yeah, the mega box. Would you become a savior if the apocalypse really happened? Probably not. If I was forced to, sure, I'd, you know, be one of his right-hand men, not in the other thing, because I'm not living like that. Fuck out of here. Will Gregory ever grow wings and fly up to heaven? Probably. Hey, Ronnie, do you ship Madison and Strand? No, I don't. I love how Ronnie always talks shit like, oh, we got like half hour left. Then I click on the timeline and it goes for 1 to 2 more hours. Listen, I would love to do that tonight, but when I say we got half hour left, I'm not kidding. Because my daughter started school now, so before I could kind of play around with it, like wake up kind of groggy and I'll make her breakfast, but now I got to be on point. Yo, when that alarm goes off, I got to get up. So we're down to our last 5 minutes. We'll go an extra 10 minutes. You know, I don't know. I like to do more, and I enjoy this. I really do enjoy us talking and you know, just chit chatting. Even with an episode that wasn't interesting, I like chatting with you. So I'll give it 10 extra minutes. 2 hours later. Why do you think The Walking Dead only has 8.5 rating on IMDb? Well, there's a lot of people that watch it. Not everyone's going to love it. So I think that's 8.5 for The Walking Dead. I think that's fair. I think that's fair and honest. I would possibly give it more of a 9 rating, but they've made enough mistakes to earn some of those notches to get taken down, you know? Yeah, so I think 8.5 is fair for a huge overall rating, but it's probably closer to a 9 because you know you got a lot of people on there who just hate the show and go on and put 1 star for no reason other than the, you know, and I don't think those are fair reviews. Like if you just hate it, to hate it for no reason because it doesn't suit your tastes, I think it's unfair to do that. But anyway, Ronnie, who do you think can survive the longest from the group? I don't know. Actually survive? Probably Madison, because, I don't know, Nick does some stupid stuff, and Alicia's tiny. Ronnie, how about in Season 4, they find the military base, and it turns out to be a good place and safe from the dead, and then give us a villain that's dark and twisted and crazy like Troy, but older? Again, I'm getting frustrated and bored, quite frankly, of finding a community and then getting a villain. I'm a little bored of that. I think I would prefer, let's kill them all. Kill them all and take our little core group. Kill them all. I mean, all viciously. Let's take our core group, you know, Madison, Travis, Madison, her 2 kids, and like Strand or something. And I like Danny too. I like some of these other characters, but just kill them all. Take those characters and do something different with them. We're traveling, running into these little groups. You know, keep it tight and then introduce different stories. That's not just communities. Maybe that marketplace, explore more of that. That could be interesting. Or going in and out of the a city or something. That, again, that's difficult because of the budget though. Fear is just a major letdown to me. Honestly, I don't even watch it anymore. Disagree. I'm starting to watch it and I'm still disappointed in the trailer. Ronnie, did you ever consider going to medical school? No, not at all. Everyone's opinion is different, but for me at least it feels very forced and drifts away from what made The Walking Dead great. Yeah, Ronnie the brain surgeon. I'd help fund a short zombie film on YouTube or miniseries co-written by Ronnie Hayes. What do you mean co-written? Written. Written and created. I would only be able to co-write if the person had like the same vision as me as far as, you know, zombies have to act this way, and it's got to be, you can't have someone co-write with me and want fast zombies. I'll be like, oh my god, here we go. I'll do an example script. I'll think of one. You know, give me a couple months. I'll think of one, and then I'll let you guys know what an example script is. If you love it, like a little example pilot, if you love it, we'll look into if it's even possible to film a short and get funding. How much funding would we need? You let me know if that's something you guys are interested in, because if it is, I would love to do a little short. Like, we can even do a little short just to jump start it, or maybe we can even just film a trailer for what it would be, you know? Hey Ronnie, do you enjoy Fear the Walking Dead? If not, how much longer do you think you'll watch it? If it wasn't for this channel and us talking about it, I would be done after these 2 episodes. Just for now, though, I would move on to other stuff that is a little more important, like my comic book, for example, and I would come back and binge watch the rest of this season. And if I enjoyed it, I would continue. If I didn't, I would probably stick with binge watching it. And I think it just comes to the point where I accept that it's not fitting my tastes. The direction and the writing and all that, it's just for a different audience. It's not for me, you know, that zombie fan and wants different and refreshing stories. We're just not getting it. It's a lot of the same, and then the internal conflict. And think about it, you know, if this isn't AMC's MO, I don't know what is. Look at the problems with putting The Walking Dead Season 2 on the farm. We heard so much about the budget and why they're on the farm and yada, yada, yada. Look what they did with Fear the Walking Dead. They built, which I thought, oh my god, they built a ranch. But now look at what they're doing. They built a ranch, internal conflict. They're keeping our characters there. And then they have some of these other characters out on a side mission. So it's like they built their own farm so they can keep the story there and contain the costs and shit like that, you know? Anyway, didn't watch, but love your videos. Love you, bro. You'll be receiving a free copy of my novel. I'm excited for you to read it. You're the best. $6 super chat from Dylan Voorhees. Looking forward to it. Definitely appreciate the support. You're always coming through with the super chats every chance you get. Interested in the novel, bud? What do you? I think you're. I got like 7 people who told me to write novels, so I'm trying to keep track of who's doing what story wise. Definitely keep at it though. Hey Ronnie, do you wait? No, you're not going to fail, Ronnie. Oh, I refuse to fail. Ronnie, if my comic ever becomes a show, please promise you'll be a producer or on the writing team. I couldn't afford being a producer, but I would definitely be on the writing team or something. Anything. Oh no, Ronnie is way hotter. Oh boy. This season of Fear. Oh, I see what you mean. Okay. Thank you. This season of Fear is fucking amazing, and I have enjoyed it more than The Walking Dead's last season. I'm glad for you. I'm happy for you. Absolutely. No sarcasm. Seriously. Winter is coming to The Walking Dead. I want snow. Ronnie is the shit. Appreciate it. Coffin Death versus Baghead Death from comics. Oh, yeah. Someone say a random season. Oh, do you mean which one do I like better? I like the Bag Death from the comics better. Someone say a random season and a random episode of The Walking Dead, and I'll give you the episode name. I have them all memorized. Is that sad? No, it's not sad. I'll be honest. I don't have them all memorized. But it's not sad. No, Ronnie, I know you're a horror buff, but where do you land on sci-fi? Sci-fi, I'm a give or take. It's a hit or miss for me on some real shit. When sci-fi works for me, I love it. When it doesn't work, I am not even close to being interested. But if you kill them all, then you have become the villains. Oh, yeah. If so, how do you think they could return to their roots? At this point in time, it's almost impossible to return to your roots in Fear the Walking Dead. They've already taken themselves too far away unless you do an about face and just go right back. You need to go back, you know, to where the places are, towns are. You need to come up with a different, refreshing, and interesting story there. Fear the Walking Dead is better than The Walking Dead Season 7, in my opinion. Absolutely share your opinion. That's cool. I personally enjoy the main show, Season 7 so far, better. Co-writer, Thought Factory. I will help fund. See that? If we get the funding up, Ronnie, if you became a writer, would you hate yourself? Laugh out loud. Oh, Ronnie, if you became a rich writer, would you hate yourself? No. Hey, you already got $6 for it. We're starting. Ronnie, who is the hottest woman on The Walking Dead and Fear, dead or alive? I don't know. Pick one. They're all hot. Who would be your dream co-writer? I know a lot of people would be like Robert Kirkman, but I'd have to say no on that because, you know, as much that would be like a crazy, insane honor, I don't think that would be even realistic, you know? I'm sure there's no reason he's going to want to do another different zombie thing, you know what I mean? So that would be a massive, like, insanely cool honor, but on a realistic side, you probably wouldn't want to do anything more. You know, Ryan Johnson did some cool shit. I loved the dude who did Bone Tomahawk. I'd look into more of his career and see. I mean, that might be pretty cool. Fear the Walking Dead is better than The Walking Dead. Who thinks that? Raise your hands or hit number 1, I guess. Dude, just stop watching Fear. Laugh out loud. Nope. I already explained that. But if you don't want a review that honestly expresses, you know, if they didn't enjoy it and we're expressing I didn't enjoy it, but I like these parts, then just stop checking in with these reviews, because I've already admitted they're going in a direction, and the writers and the flavor of the world of Fear the Walking Dead, it's just not for me. You know what I mean? There's stuff I do like about it, you know, and I've listed just a small couple things I love. Like, I love the marketplace. Fucking loved it. I love the shit they they change Strand to the outside of the marketplace. Again, I wanted more of that, of just him in that situation, but done a little different to where the scene actually has tension, you know? And Alicia's moment, her speech, A+. I think that was an epic little moment for her. But you can't say, oh, you know, yeah, just stop watching it. I don't know. I think, you know, slightly ridiculous thing to say. Because if everyone who feels like me stopped watching it, they'd cancel it, bro. Fear the Walking Dead's so close to, you know, having rock bottom. It's not even funny. You think that Travis should have stayed alive to continue through the season? Yes, I do. Fear the Walking Dead will never top The Walking Dead. One bad season doesn't cancel out the rest of the series. Yeah, there's a lot of people who do that with Game of Thrones and other shows too. You get a bad season, all of a sudden the series is bad. I don't believe in that. You get a season or two that's a little off. I mean, it's something that's running 3 or 4 seasons, you're loving it. You get a season that's not quite there, maybe another one. I don't think there's any reason to, you know, jet and run unless it's gone a direction where it's just bad. Then okay, maybe. I actually binge watched the first half of the season instead of waiting, and enjoy it more that way. So hard to invest interest. I was doing other shit the whole time. Yeah, I've been doing that with Fear the Walking Dead this season, and usually I sit there and just watch, but lately I'm, you know, doing stuff around the house. I can't just sit and watch because next thing you know, I'm checking my phone, I'm losing interest. I actually started watching some Curb Your Enthusiasm in between Fear the Walking Dead. I would love Fear if Travis was still on the show and you get more screen time and took Madison's role. Yeah, Madison's another character and you can go back and rewatch a lot of my videos when I talk about Madison and the actress playing her. I was looking forward to her so much. I liked her in Sons. I thought she had some good charisma in Gone Girl. Would have even liked that kind of character, but I'm at a point now where I'm just not connecting to her. Is she a psychopath? I mean, she's always my kids. I'm going to protect my kids. It's either, honestly, she doesn't want to, or they're telling her to be cold in a way where I feel like there's a wall. There's something covering her emotions. And again, they've came right out from the beginning and said she's cold, she has shit in her past. And I think that's wrong because there's no connection there. When Strand is like, oh, come here, oh my God, Travis died, she just kind of scrunches her face up, and I'm like, I'm not buying, there's no emotions there. There's nothing there for me. And I would be happy with just a little bit of welling in the eyes. Just some kind of emotion welling up or bottled up, or just something. Not even tears or crying. Again, just some redness in the eye and some welling. Just show some type of expression. And this has been so much to the point where I'm done already. I think I'm liking Madison less and less. And again, this is one of the characters who I loved in the very beginning because of who they had, you know? Is there anything Fear does better than the original show? Well, speaking of having signature weapons, that adds to it being much less like a comic book vibe, and it grounds it more in the reality sense, you know? Although, it's a silly thing to say because in real life, you know, we do shit like that. We do, in real life, adopt signature weapons and this, that, and the third. Just look at our history. Look at soldiers and warriors and da-da-da-da. You will find ones that do certain things that stand out. That would be their signature thing. You know what I'm saying? So it is realistic for them to do that. But it holds that level of realism more so, I guess you would say, than the real show. Stuff like that. I did a video on that about Fear the Walking Dead. You could check it out. But it's along the lines of the stuff I love that they do a little bit better. Did you like the movie Extinction? I don't know what that is. I recently watched it and thought it was a decent zombie film. I never heard of it. Notice you always answer about 5 minutes later. Yeah, there's a delay. We get so many comments, I can't stay fresh. If I do, I'm skipping so many, and then everyone yells at me, you're skipping so many, so I just try to read as many as I can. And then every now and then it skips itself right to the front, so I guess fuck it, I'm going to miss some anyway. Do you think they will at least give us a good reunion for Daniel and Ophelia, something surprising, some emotion? To be honest, no. I don't think they've handled their reunions so well. I mean, for God's sakes, they show it to us in the trailers and the promos before we get it. They showed us Strand and Madison. They showed us Strand and Danny in the fucking trailer months ago. They show us Nick and Madison. They show us Travis and Lucy. All these reunions, they show us before they even get there. And we know they're going to get there, but they don't... It's not anything special. It's just, yeah, they're back together again. Is my man Ronnie smoking that good? No, it just had a little left over some vanilla cracker thingy. I don't know. Not vanilla. Graham cracker taste, I think it is. We have a super chat from Ashley Estrada. She's always supporting the channel and holding it down. Keep up the great work, Ronnie, Missing Juliet, and the Matt Mail and unboxing videos. We have 2 recorded. We have a Munch Pack and we got Matt Mail. I got my last bunch of international comic orders to ship out, and then I am done for the US orders except for the Ronnie and James signature ones. They're actually coming back from the UK. As soon as they get here and I sign them, I'm shipping them out. Once I ship them in the US, they get to you guys. I've tracked all the ones, well, a lot of the ones I've shipped so far, and they're getting there in 2 to 3 days. Like, it's on point. So I have 200 orders that are already out to you guys. People are already getting them. Like 100 people already got them. And then we have about 200 orders getting signed and coming from the UK. So once that's all done, another week and a half, I'm going to do the Last of Us one and do the other stuff. And yeah, so appreciate the super chat, Ashley. And we got some stuff with Juju coming. So thank you very much. It was excellent. This episode could have used more Strand and Daniel. 2 hours and we only got 15 minutes of the only interesting characters. Josh says, fuck this show. Jennifer says, have you seen Robert Kirkman's other TV show he produced, Outcast? Do you like it? Yes, I reviewed that. It's on the channel, but they have not aired season 2 in the United States yet. So, and they're not going to air it until next year. So I don't know about season 2. Fear the Walking Dead, in my opinion, never had a chance to be successful. They weren't even creative enough to come up with a real title. Oh, ouch. I feel they're paying on the title, though, because they need it to connect to The Walking Dead. You need the brand recognition. You need it. You can't not have it. You need that. First off, it's in the world. It's part of the brand. And I agree that it should have been, you know, The Walking Dead and then something else. I don't know. It has a better fit to it. Fear the Walking Dead. What's the next show gonna be? Or movie? Survive the Walking Dead, you know? So, oh well. Fear the Walking Dead, well, we already did that. Maggie is definitely the, oh yeah, I'm not too concerned about who the hot chicks are. They're all hot. We got any more questions? Let me see. Let me scroll down. We got another super chat from the Creeper. 12+ hour day, but had to give props. Oh, of work? I appreciate that. Juliet's lived live stream was classic. My thoughts on Fear, simple. They're chasing The Walking Dead. It's good, but can't be Sam. I think you misspelled something. Sam WM. Can't be Sam WM. Awesome. I think he meant to spell awesome, and it got a little jumbled. Yeah. And listen, and this is a good thing to debate too. You make a great point, Creeper. And again, thanks for the super chat. Gave the $10 super chat to the cause, and maybe we will start, putting together and seeing if we can actually do a little mini for YouTube. I think that would be. Think about this possibility. Let's say I wrote something, and I'm going to get to your question again. Let's say I wrote something, and you guys are like, I love it. Now again, when you read it, you got to understand. You're reading it's going to be a little different than getting it. So if you like it, you might love it when you get it on video and watch it and it sucks you in. But imagine if I wrote something and you're like, oh, I love that. I can't give away the ending, so I'd have to give you a piece of it. That way it doesn't spoil you. And then if we were like, let's go through with this, and we got enough to do like a 1 hour thing, and we did the pilot of our 4-part series, and I don't know what or how they do the YouTube Red shit, but what if we said, YouTube Red, this is what we want to do, whoop-de-whoop. You don't know, in maybe 2 years we can have our 4-part mini-series of season 1. Just one of those little mini-seasons that I keep talking about. You don't need the show. You don't need a movie or a show. You can have these mini-series. Let's do a mini-season, a mini-series season. And then 4 episodes, and then the next season can have 4 episodes. Pop that on YouTube. I don't know. We could do something great with it. I'm telling you. Anyway. Yes, in a way that is debatable. The Creeper said, The Walking Dead is just, Fear the Walking Dead is simply chasing The Walking Dead. And I know a lot of people, immediately when you bring up both shows, it becomes a conflicting conversation. But in truth, I mean, that's what it is. I mean, we can lie to ourselves all we want, right? But was there really, look at Fear the Walking Dead. Even people who like Fear the Walking Dead, you have to admit, it is nothing insanely new where you can go, now I know why they had to do a new show. It is. It's a business. This is a business. I mean, when you look at Fear the Walking Dead, this isn't something that's like, that needed to live on its own. That needed to be done. It's a business. It's going to make money. It's there to add the brand. It's just common sense. So in a way, yeah, it's there for that purpose. It's there to, pick the franchise up and support AMC more and, bring more money in so they can support their things. This is a business decision. I don't see anything in Fear the Walking Dead. If you guys want to, maybe you do, and you want to point it out, what does Fear do that deserves its own separate show? You know what I mean? You let me know. And again, I'm not saying it's a definite. That's only my opinion. But if you want to give me a different perspective on it, go for it. But thanks for the support, the Creeper. Why the fuck does Madison give up all the guns? I hope she dies. I hated that part too. She buys into this Walker guy so quick and so much. I like Walker. I'm not bought into him yet. I feel like they're going to make him into one of the good guys, and I like that. I like that a lot. I think the actor has a lot of charisma, and he's working up to be one of my favorite characters right now. One of the most interesting right now. However, I still don't trust him. I would not give up all our guns. That's not even logical. One thing goes wrong. You have one person who lost family and lost this and lost that, and what? You're just going to go, because he had his outburst, all of a sudden you're just going to give up, become prisoners in your own fucking ranch? Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. I hated that. Hated it. Do you think Madison will be as Ruffles as Rick? You got a misprint there, but I know what you mean. Ruthless as, I think you mean that. Ruthless as Rick? I don't know. Possibly. I would like them to, yeah. Fear the Walking Dead is as creative as a box of crayons. Ouch. Ronnie Rabbit. Ronnie, you say you don't like the way Fear the Walking Dead is going because it is all in these communities, and that way have seen that before as a need to the zombie genre. What type zombie story would be ideal for you? All right. There's multiple different types. Listen, they can do exactly what they're doing, but if they had a more interesting story to it, I would be fine with communities. And I've said this time and time again, when you come up with a story like The Walking Dead, you have characters who need to eat and sleep, right? They just have to, because it won't be realistic. And don't tell me it's a zombie show, it doesn't have to be realistic. It does, because if Rick Grimes turned into a cartoon, an actual cartoon, you would be like, whoa, what? That is so dumb. It doesn't fit, it's not realistic, it's not this, that, and the third. Exactly. Realism within its own rules that it has set up, all right? So when it comes to these characters, they're on the road, they need to eat. There's no more stores, so they got to grow food. They need a community. I'm fine with having a community, finding a community, but maybe think of something new and different and unique. You know, the marketplace, for example. The marketplace would have been a better community. Instead of this ranch bullshit, imagine living in the marketplace or being involved in that. You can build so many different stories where you got to go out searching. Every other episode could be an interesting story about going and scavenging for supplies. You can build some kind of hierarchy inside the marketplace where you have the one person who is leading. Fuck, even pull and tease a little bit from the, you know, Thunderdome, the Mad Max and shit. You know, tweak a couple Easter eggs, throw it in there. But you have this hierarchy in the marketplace, show that atmosphere. But we all know why they're not going to do that, because that is not logical budget-wise. I just don't think they're willing, because that's a lot of extras, a lot of different shit going on. That's something special they'll throw in, but you can't have your community there in that type of place. But I think story-wise, if this was something that had unlimited funds or more funds, I think the marketplace is way more interesting of an environment than the ranch. Look, we went to the marketplace for just a little bit in this episode, and then they had the Strand thing outside. That already, I was like, you could do way more in that than you can just digging for water, you know, at the ranch. So it's a number of different things. The answer is a lot. It just matters on the type of story you're telling and making it more interesting. Eric, think they should have used Fear the Walking Dead to make backstory for the Kingdom and the other groups with Fear the Walking Dead characters mixed, come in around season 7 and continue it by splitting them up in all-out war. Yeah, seeing some people who want the two shows to crisscross and have backstories. I'm good being its own separate thing. I think I like that a little bit better too, as far as being backstories. You know, because now we get into the point where, are their characters, you know, if their characters are secondary characters in the Kingdom, in The Walking Dead, but you make them main characters in their own show, you're going to back yourself into a corner. You will, because then when you connect the two, by that time you're either going to have to kill off most of them and only keep a handful, so that way you can actually, you know, integrate them into the same show without losing or having them fall into the background. I mean, there could be serious problems there with logistical problems, you know. So, but I hear what you're saying. An AMC show post Breaking Bad dropped an F-bomb on air. Goddamn, what a precedent. Fear the Walking Dead is like a backup show for The Walking Dead, in my opinion. Okay, I'm going to bed. Yeah, I gave us 20 minutes after the hour mark. I'll rock out a few more minutes. We'll get an even number, and then we got to shut it down. So get your questions in. Couple minutes, we're shutting it down. 4 or 5 minutes. Ronnie, what do you feel about the swap meet where you could buy anything? It was pretty cool and different. It felt like something out of a post-apocalyptic movie. Yeah, I just talked about loving it too. I wish they showed a little bit more on how they were buying and selling stuff. I get it. You know, she sold the walkie for 2 days inside, and then she had the 100 and some credits, but what are they using for money? It looked like little green chips, or I don't know. I wish they showed a little more on that. Just a tad. Wow, you really don't have a life. Laugh out loud. Well, I don't know who you're talking to. Talking to me? No, I don't. Ronnie, do you think the one thing that's missing is the horror? I could set an entire season with just our characters trying to get out of a zombie-infested area, make it claustrophobic, keep it small. Yes, I'm missing a lot of the horror. It doesn't feel scary enough. And I think it becomes a little more difficult when you have characters who are in a story and you know they're not going to die. I think it gets to a point where they got to sit down and think, okay, now how can we make this a little more refreshing? If we know the characters aren't going to die, we got to insert something, a fail without them dying. So we have to have them get this. It could be, you know, getting supplies. It could be winning over, you know, characters and alliances, or meeting other people out on the road. But you have to set up ways for them to succeed and fail to give us like an enjoyable balance between conflict and rewards. Ronnie, do you think the one thing is... Oh yeah, I already did that. I agree. We need to help Bravo Army 7. He somehow keeps coming back. Bravo Army. Alright. I put him in timeout. Yeah, I put him in timeout, so we'll see how long that lasts. I think they were using casino chips as currency. Is that what some poor person does on a late Sunday night? Who do you think can live the longest in the group? All the bones above. Yeah, I think I said Madison before. But again, I think it's a toss-up. Ronnie, remember when Juliet called you Ronald? Well, guess what? I'm calling you that from now on. Love you, dog. Whoop-de-whoop. Ronald is legit my real name, so... You can make accounts with the same name. They don't prevent you from even using accounts with the same names as big YouTubers. I don't know how... yeah, I don't know. I don't get it. Come on, you either got to be 10 years old or you really got to be bored to spam live chats or fucking... I mean, how desperate or starving for attention do you need to be? You know what I'm saying? Like, just think about it. Like, the person just wants to get a shout-out. There's your shout-out. Ronnie, Preacher said an F-bomb yesterday. Do you think The Walking Dead will? Was it a true F-bomb? Because I've had people say this where, like Colony, for example, said the F-word twice in a row, and it was muted. So the girl was like, you know what I mean? So you heard it, but you didn't hear the middle, but you still heard the, you know? If they did the, then no, it's not a real F word. They muted it. But if they legit said fuck, you know, then I don't know. That's new. I don't know why The Walking Dead didn't do it. But then again, here, the Preacher's owned by some other company, and I did hear that the regulations are slightly different and yada yada yada, and it has to do with sometimes it has to do with advertisers. That's something they consider. So if AMC doesn't own, like, actually own Preacher, they could pay for the license to air it. You get what I'm saying? I don't know. I have to look into that. Good night, Ronnie. Just please answer. Best written arc from The Walking Dead. You say Alexandrian 5B. The best written arc? That's rough. Which, oh my god, which arc? Well, it's not really an arc either. I was going to have to say... Fuck. I'm going to have to say... it's tough. Yeah, it's not even an arc, because there's some that are like season 1. You know what I'm saying? Like the first 2-3 episodes are still... Maybe it's a nostalgia factor. I don't know. I'm sticking with season 1, first 3 episodes. The arc where he finds his family. I think that's some of the best, sure. But there's also other ones that I really love too, but there's some filler in between, so the arc ones are a little bit tricky. What do you think about Troy's scene where he stabbed his own hand, then stabbed the guy? I think that was overkill, to be honest. That was like, oh, here's a badass, but let's show him being way more of a badass than he really needed to be. How many more seasons of Fear do you think they'll do before they realize we all hate it and just stop? I think it has a few more, because even when it's not doing so great, it's still pulling in some, you know, so I think they'll hang on to it. Ronnie, are these live streams a regular thing now? Because they're fucking awesome. After the show for 1 hour or as much time as I can allow. Like I said, I gotta wake up and get my daughter up for school, so we gotta shut her down, but we're shutting down in 1 minute. Ronnie, where's your old English? I gotta get my kid up for school, not drinking tonight. Terminus. Yeah, that's another one. There was some good stuff in season 4 too that I really liked. There's some good stuff scattered, I think, you know. Are there any shows that you watch that you don't talk about on YouTube? Yeah. Oh yeah, there's some on Netflix that I watch, a lot of them. I've talked about a couple on YouTube, but I don't know, it's hard. I am bad for thinking about show names on the fly. Right now, I don't think there's anything I'm watching right now. I just watched something. Oh no, I rewatched some of Game of Thrones. That was pretty badass. The Creeper with a last-minute super chat. Okay, before I die of exhaustion, tell us about the Juliet live stream. Did she get in trouble? I hope you went easy on her. It's not like she burnt the living room carpet. Listen, first off, she said she wanted to do a live stream on Instagram. You know, and she's getting a couple friends on Instagram where it's with those little toys, LPS toys or something like that. And I let her goof off. She loves it, you know what I mean? So I got her account privated, and I monitor on my phone. So when she's on her tablet, and then I can monitor live as everyone's talking, I get notifications. So I like to keep track of it. But she had borrowed my phone and asked, and I said, okay, I'll give you 5 minutes. You can do a little mini live stream. It won't kill nothing, you know? And she went ahead and did one on YouTube, which the reason I never caught her before is because the YouTube on my phone never had the live button. There's a live button and I even contacted him saying, hey, this is supposed to be on my account, because I have one of the creator accounts or whatever the hell. And it was not on my phone. I updated it and all that. It never showed up. So I was shocked. It now shows up. Before it was just it was like one square. Now it's split in two, and you can do the live or you can do some other option. And she clicked live for YouTube. I was like, oh, but you know, I yelled at her with what was necessary. You know, just what was necessary. Anyway, best story arc. Yes, best story arc by far. Yeah, I don't know. Do you watch Ash versus the Evil Dead? Yes, that is something I do watch. I watched the first season. I got it on Blu-ray, and it's something I like, but I have to have like the free time to watch it. The drive to like. Comedy, I love horror, but comedy is like my least liked thing. I enjoy it, like Curb Your Enthusiasm. I was dying today watching one of the episodes. They were making a Seinfeld episode inside Curb Your Enthusiasm on HBO. I was dying, but I really got to be in the mood to watch those. And then when it comes to horror comedy, it's rare that I like them, you know? So I view Ash versus the Evil Dead in that kind of horror comedy where I don't really take it serious. So I really got to be in the mood, but I enjoy it. I enjoy the visuals. I like the silliness of it. But it's not something that I need to watch immediately. And I don't care if it spoils. Like, I don't care if someone tells me the ending. It's not something I'm invested in where I gotta see the story play out. I just don't care. You could tell me how it ends and I'm cool. I'll go into it, watch it just to see how it plays out, you know? And anyway, will you give a shout out to the Wolfman Socks YouTube channel? I don't know who that is. Also, will Fear steal Negan's crystal balls too? I don't know what that is. Wolfman Socks. Yeah, there's your shout out. Yeah, so Troy pissing me off just as much as Madison. Have you seen True Detective first season? Love first season. I seen the second season. Weak compared to first season, but there's stuff in it I really enjoyed, but really weak compared to the first season. We got to really wrap this up, though. I liked how they came all together at the end. Fear and started trying to dig a well instead of fighting over the water. They needed each other to fight the walkers, the evil people. I like that. I like that they're coming together and we can get rid of the bickering bullshit. But I just thought it was weak that it was over digging. You know, I just feel like it should have been something else. It should have been a threat where the threat came in and they both groups realized, listen, we need to stop this bullshit and just focus on that threat. And again, I don't care if it was a serial killer who snuck in and was, you know, laying people out or maybe doing vicious, cruel, vile shit. Like, pick an interesting character, bring him in, and then finally imagine you have the people bickering back and forth. You got this evil character who's slicing people up, doing nasty stuff, and then maybe Nick catches him in the act. He's about to kill Alicia. He catches him in the act, and it's a brutal, bloody, I mean violent, epically violent fight inside the RV. And then the other groups, the two groups, are actually outside the RV bickering with each other at the well. And then Nick and the serial killer guy go flying outside the door or out a window, and that gets everyone's attention. And this is the point where, you know, this is the guy, Nick's taking a beat, and he even tries to chase the guy. And then everyone, you know, piles on, and they gang up to get the guy. Some shit like that. Just brutal and violent. Anything. Again, that's at the very least, you got one guy, you don't have to pay a lot of people. You insert this thing and you just get the groups together just with something, you know? Anyway, Ronnie, I hate to keep asking you, but do you watch Ash vs. Evil Dead? If you're a fan of old Dead movies, oh, I already answered that one. I usually hate horror comedy, but Bruce Campbell is legendary. Alright, guys, so listen, thanks a lot for coming out. I really do appreciate this. I really do appreciate the support. So we're going to do these live streams for each episode. We're going to do a live after show. And I will be honest, we're not doing any other different type of reviews. In the live show, I'm going to do 10 to 15 minutes of my first impression. Then we're going to get into the comments for the end half of it. If we can go longer, we will, but it's usually going to be about an hour, between an hour or two. Definitely an hour at the very least. Maybe two if we have extra time. I like to go a little over, but you guys know that. And I will not be doing any, you know, in-depth videos. I will not, as far as Fear the Walking Dead, I'm just not. We're going to talk on here, and that's going to be the end of it. And then I'm going to focus on other different videos to do. I have a couple more. I'm waiting on one particular video that I've been getting together. And if I post this video, there's going to be a change to the channel, like as far as content wise. We're still doing Walking Dead. We'll still always do live streams after Fear the Walking Dead and The Walking Dead. We'll still do, you know, in-depth breakdowns of The Walking Dead, the original show. We'll still do stuff like that. We're trimming back on the prediction and theory videos. I think that's a real good way to just, you know, funnel in subscribers. But we hit our 100K goal. I'm good. Right now, I want to focus on quality. And like I said, there's a certain video, once I post it, we're going to have some changes coming to the content. But I think they're positive changes. I mean, massive, because it's going to be more, it's going to be geared more towards the videos that take a little bit more time, but they're more in-depth videos, like a lot more in-depth. But don't worry. We're doing those, but we'll still be able to turn on the camera and do the talking head videos every now and then. So, like throughout the week, we'll still be able to do 2 or 3 of those and stuff like that. So, good night, guys. Creeper says, thanks as always to Ronnie and the Matt fam. Thanks, great people supporting unique and creative good guy. Yeah, thank you very much for the support. For those Patreon supporters, I'll be posting up soon for the $5 tier for the Patreon live stream for that. And also, there was something else. Also, yeah, Doomsday Kingdom's getting shipped out currently. We'll be done soon as I get stuff from the UK. And there was something else. There was something else I wanted to mention, but I think that was it. No, it was something. What the fuck was it? Yeah, I think that's it. No, there was something else. I know there was something else. Let me take a drink of my water. Maybe I'll think of it. That's what it was. I'm not kidding. I'm going to look into what we have around North Carolina, around the Raleigh area, and if I can create a little group of people who could possibly work towards filming an actual short or filming a pilot, I shit you not. I want to do something like this. I want to finally put my money where my mouth is and be like, listen guys, I feel like I can bring out an epic, you know, zombie genre story for you guys. It's not going to be a whole huge TV show. I feel like I could do something epic, something insane. And yes, spin. If I can possibly do it, I will low-key have it exist in the same world as Doomsday Kingdom on the down low. But we'll have to be really, really clever with it because Doomsday Kingdom's real different than just a zombie story. And you won't realize that until you're a few issues in. It's different. So actually issue number 2 you'll get a hint of it, which we're gonna get working on. So yeah, on the real, if we can do it, oh man, if we can do it, I say we do that. All right, thank you very much for the support. I love yous. Have a good night, and I'll see you back here next week. But keep an eye on this channel because I'm gonna upload some videos throughout the week. Dude, I'm game. I'll be in any production you do except gay porn. I won't do gay porn. Oh. No, we don't have any of that. You're off the hook for that. Just zombie stuff. Wait, never mind.